talk about customer data, right? Again, we're securing something. Customer data seems to be pretty prime in that regard. It's the lifeblood of business today. Identity access management platforms, multi-factor authentications just beginning to be deployed. Not everybody has deployed it yet. You wrote an article, which I saw, where you talk about companies needing to be careful to not treat customer data like their own private property. How do you really feel companies should be handling really our data?
Well, Himesh, I wrote that article in 2004.
Still relevant.
But after reviewing it, it is still relevant today. The amount and kinds of customer data processed and stored, has proliferated, as I mentioned earlier, and it's going to continue to expand. We must avoid treating customer data as their own private property, right? And governments have caught up to this, right? Intensifying government regulations like GDPR will continue to get more and more protective. So as we design systems, as we design our security programs, we really have to treat this data like it's a customer's asset. We have to do everything in our power to protect the customer data, and this extends beyond our own organizations, but to include the partners we use, right? So this is an ecosystem thing that we have to have our arms around. And again, it's going to get more and more intense. And I think the penalties will be larger and larger as you look around. There's some pretty hefty penalties. For instance, if you look at GDPR regulation, that's just going to get worse, and companies will be made examples of. So I think you really need to be focused on it.
Does that change or get exacerbated by moving to the cloud? In fact, there's a question from the audience: as you encourage more and more customers to move to the cloud, how do you actually ease their concerns about the potential for greater risk?
I think you'll store more, because the cloud enables you to store more. The more you store, the more you have to protect. I don't think the cloud is less secure, but the cloud enables the creation of more and more businesses and more technology that leverage this customer data. So, it's exploded, right? And it's accelerated. It's going to continue to. So I don't think it puts data more at risk, but the fact that the surface area has increased and the amount has increased.